type perverts. And there's a lot of stuff with Danity Kane that went on, man. You got to go to day 26. And when you think of it now, because everybody be like, oh, Diddy wasn't taking them serious. He was grooming us. It's kind of like you're signing boy band groups and girl band groups because you like one or two of them and you want to see who's going to go. It's nothing to you but a tax write-off, but you're really searching for a butt the whole time.
Freddy P never expected that chasing a music dream would land him in a nightmare. When he joined the reality show Making the Band, he thought it was about talent, hard work, and earning a place in the spotlight. But years later, Freddy opened up about something much darker that was happening behind the scenes. He said that Sean Diddy Combs wasn't just signing boy bands and girl groups to make music. He was using those contracts as a trap. Freddy named Day 26, Danity Kane, and B5, all groups that were formed under Diddy, and said they weren't just managed, they were targeted. According to Freddy, Diddy used his power to choose the most vulnerable people, especially boys, and pulled them into his world with promises of fame. But behind those promises was something he now calls grooming. This wasn't about music, it was about control. And Freddy says Diddy wanted it all. Freddy described the way Diddy worked as sneaky and scary. He said the first thing Diddy tried to do was separate artists from their parents. If someone had strong family support, it made it harder to manipulate them. But once they were isolated, alone in new cities, signed to contracts they didn't understand, Diddy would act like their only friend and boss at the same time. Freddy even said he was looking for my butt, Chopper's butt, everybody's butt.
He was looking for my butt, Chopper butt, everybody butt.
That wasn't a joke. He meant it literally. It wasn't about building a record label. It was about looking for who could be controlled. And Freddy now realizes that many others probably saw what he saw, but stayed silent out of fear or shame. The scariest part? Freddy says it didn't feel wrong at first. It just felt confusing. He remembers feeling unsure and off balance, like the rules kept changing. One day Diddy would be praising him, the next day making him feel small or powerless. That kind of mental game makes people doubt their own voice. Freddy now understands that this is part of how grooming works. You build trust with someone and then use that trust to cross the line. Freddy even talks about what happened once someone was already inside Diddy's world. He says the control didn't stop at contracts or emotions. It went deeper. Diddy allegedly used blackmail to make sure no one could escape or expose what was really going on. Freddy claims that Diddy would secretly record people during private acts. Then later, if someone thought about speaking up or walking away, he'd remind them, I got a video of me and your butt.
I got video of me and your butt. Like, how can you ever make another record?
For Freddy, that wasn't a rumor. It was something he says he saw firsthand. Freddy even explained that many people never said no because they didn't think they had a choice. If they pushed back, their careers stalled. If they said the wrong thing, they were suddenly hard to work with or removed from projects. He said Diddy would dangle opportunities in front of them, record deals, TV time, promotion, and then snatch it away the second they didn't fall in line. The message was clear. If you don't play the game, you don't get to succeed. Freddy also hinted that others who tried to speak up got hurt emotionally or even physically. Freddy believes the entire music industry helped cover this up. He says Diddy's business was never really just music. It was about power and silence. He made sure people around him benefited enough to stay quiet, even if they knew what was happening. Freddy remembered how Diddy bought houses for people's families, and not out of kindness. They weren't gifts, they were chains. Freddy said he knew where my mama lived. He had keys to everything.
You know, my mama, he bought my mama house. He know everything. He got keys to everything. That's scary, nigga.
If you tried to leave, where would you go? You couldn't hide. You couldn't call the cops. According to Freddy, Diddy had his own people inside the police. He says phones were tapped. Plans to escape would suddenly fall apart. Cars broke down. Meetings were canceled. Friends were silent. The world closed in. And the one man pulling the strings was always smiling on the red carpet. When your enemy can track your every step, even freedom starts to feel fake. And then came one of the most disturbing parts of Freddy's story, the 4-day freak-off. Freddy didn't say it happened to him, but he knew someone it happened to. He said Diddy forced a woman to stay locked in a hotel suite for 4 straight days, where she wasn't allowed to sleep. Every few hours, new women would be flown in. Escorts, strangers, no one stayed long. It was a rotating door people used for one thing. Freddy said the room was set up with baby oil, Tootsie Rolls, and all kinds of disturbing items on the bed, pools of oil on the floor, candy laid out like decorations, music playing all day and night. And Diddy, he was there, but hidden. Freddy said the things that happened in that room were hard to even say out loud.
For 4 days, you just got pissing in your mouth and Lord knows what to your asshole.
The victim was allegedly on, told what to do, what to say, and what to keep secret. She wasn't just degraded, she was silenced. Freddy claims Diddy didn't threaten people with violence. He used embarrassment. He used shame. He used money as a gag, offering big checks in exchange for silence. And the few people who spoke up, Freddy says they were discredited immediately, called crazy and liars. The system didn't just protect Diddy, it erased his victims. When money becomes a mask, monsters can look like kings. And then came a moment that broke the internet. A new accuser came forward and said Diddy's private parts were the size of a Tootsie Roll. Freddy didn't hold back. He laughed and called it out in public, saying it made sense why Diddy did everything he did. He was insecure, hiding behind sex and money to feel powerful. Freddy even said that women like Young Miami probably laughed at him too, just not to his face. "I know how Miami girls are," he said. "They love the money, but they laugh behind your back."
I know how Miami girls is, like laughing at him behind his back and shit. Like,
Freddy didn't just expose the abuse, he exposed the ego behind it. He made it personal. Freddy said he never had to deal with that kind of shame. He said, "Since I was a kid, I was bigger than a Tootsie Roll."
I can remember my nigga, I've been bigger than a Tootsie Roll since I can remember as a kid. No, for real.
It was crude, it was funny, but it also revealed something serious. Freddy wasn't just talking about size, he was talking about confidence. He said when someone lives in fear of being less than, they start to control others to feel more. That's what Freddy thinks Diddy did. He built an empire of control because he never felt in control of himself. That's the part that haunts Freddy now. Not just the crimes, but the mindset behind them. By the time Freddy P looked back on his journey, he knew he had survived something that many others couldn't. Freddy said he was pulled into a world that was shiny on the outside, but rotten on the inside. A world where young people, especially boys, were praised, manipulated, and then trapped. He admitted that Diddy didn't get him to cross certain lines. He just happened to dodge the worst of it, but he saw it all. He saw what it did to others. He saw what happened to people who didn't get out in time, and it hurt him to know they were still suffering. He didn't just escape a bad contract. He escaped a machine built to break people. Freddy wanted people to stop pretending. He said too many fans, too many media outlets, too many celebrities look the other way because they're afraid to lose money or clout. But what about the people who lost more than that? What about the people who lost their peace, their safety, or even their voice? Freddy wasn't just angry, he was heartbroken, because every time someone says, "Well, Diddy made great music," they're helping him bury the truth again. Freddy begged people to stop letting shiny things distract them from predatory patterns. Stop idolizing the man. Start asking what he did to get there. In his final thoughts, Freddy zoomed out and showed the bigger picture. He said Diddy wasn't a one-man problem. He was part of a larger sickness inside the music industry. Freddy mentioned names like JD, B2K, and even Justin Bieber, hinting that the same kind of grooming and exploitation may have happened there too. He didn't accuse them directly. He just said, watch the patterns. Watch the way young boys are signed, isolated, and pushed into situations that feel off. Freddy said he believed more people would come forward. He said Diddy's lawsuits are growing, and with every new case, more survivors are getting the courage to speak. Freddy explained why we haven't heard more stories yet. The fear is real. He said people are scared to lose their deals, scared of being called liars, and scared of what might happen to them or their families. Freddy knew that fear. He lived with it for years, but now that cracks are forming in Diddy's power, Freddy believes the floodgates will open. He said some victims are just waiting for the right moment, when they feel safe, when they know someone will believe them, when they're finally ready to say out loud what they've kept buried for so long. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Freddy P, or is the industry still too good at hiding its darkest secrets?